I think this works reasonably well. Always got to worry about the lighting. The sun is so strong here. So that's the basic roof, insulated walls, like duh, insulation, right? But it's not common in the tropics, and we are in the tropics, believe me. Might do the concrete columns. My original plan was for steel columns, which would be easier. I just pour one slab and put the steel columns on top of it and fill it in with concrete blocks and you're done. May stay with that. It's a challenge of tying the concrete columns into the foundational slab of the building. I'm not sure about that. You'll see when I do the drawings, I show the drawings, it'll become more obvious, so you don't have to be an engineer to understand this, believe me. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's a shawarma salad. Super good. So 4-inch reinforced floating slab. That's hard to say fast. Thai style kitchen and laundry, just albeit nicer and enclosed and shaded and all that. Future spot for a small lap pool for my back, which would be a luxury I would use and appreciate. Integrating some garden walls in a garden, large screened in porch. I want to do a very clean landscape. I was originally thinking a lawn, but that harbors insects and things and more mosquitoes, and I want to just do like a desert, barren sand with some gravel, decorative rocks, a couple of cactuses here and there. Fawn used to have a small cactus business, like an homage to that, a little respect to that, and their cactuses are pretty, cacti, whatever. So something really minimalist and barren and simple and clean. I want maintenance-free everything. I don't want to be doing anything. And I don't want Fawn doing stuff either, because she's already busy. Do a separate parking structure for 2 cars, or car and a motorcycle in our case. We talked about the very high ceilings, and then do a perimeter wall. The rear wall of the property, I'm going to do just a sheet metal, bright orange. There's reasons for that. It'll look really cool when the sunrise hits it every morning. It'll light up the whole property, the whole place will look like a giant sunrise. You can trust me on that. It'll be quite spectacular. It sounds odd, but it'll be nice. Oh, the labor. Here's the interesting part. So I did my own very crude labor calculation. I figured 4 men working on it, 5-6 days a week. Typical Thai labor week is 6 days. 4 men, 3 months. If you take the typical wage out here, and being nice to them and bringing them food and giving them a tip at the end or whatever and all that stuff, which I always did. 1, is a decent human being. 2, I think your jobs just go better and they sure are a hell of a lot more fun if you're nice to everybody. So I'm not trying to don't think I'm trying to annoy everybody or come down to some kind of bare minimum cost. That's not the point. But looking at about, estimating it out about 160,000 baht, which is right about $5,000 US. Interestingly, the construction company that did some parking garage shade structures and kind of a kitchen structure sort of thing at Fawn's work, they said that we could design about any house we want, and for 200,000 baht for labor, and then just plus the materials, they'd build it. And I came up with 160, kind of managing it myself. So their guess of just doing it as a flat rate 200 probably means they know what they're talking about, and probably means they're pretty sharp. Their workmanship looked good, and they seemed like people you could work with. So I'd be highly inclined to use them. My original thought on labor was that Kun Pa often does some medium-sized construction projects in the off-season, and he has excellent access to reasonable labor, and we could toddle along, as it were, with that. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad idea, just my first idea. I'm just kind of a guess, 300,000 to 400,000 baht for materials. So 10 to 12 grand US, so a total cost of 15 to 20,000. Now there'll be extras later on. You want to add another outdoor bathroom, so if you're outside and you need to just, have a pee as a guy or whatever, you have like a urinal and maybe a little thing, and maybe some decorative stuff and whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of that. So 15 to 20,000, pretty cheap. Let's just call it 20 grand US. What's my intent with that number? My intent is that would cover the basic initial construction costs only. not necessarily even including the absolute mandatory perimeter wall you have to have around any kind of decent property. One, socially, if you don't have a wall, it says you can't afford one. Fun would be embarrassed. And again, I don't know if they call it losing face. That doesn't translate well, but it's something. If it isn't that phrase, it's exactly 100% exactly like losing face. It's like the biggest social thing here, and I need to dig in on that one. I keep forgetting to do that. But so on this 20 grand, so the wall, I'd probably have the wall done first. Probably finish filling the soil maybe later this year. That's going to be $1 grand. You know, it's nothing. Maybe over this upcoming next winter, or whatever, this later fall after rice season, maybe Paul and some of his workers want to putz on the wall. If they want to, they can. If they don't want to, I'm not going to nudge or cajole anybody to do anything. That's just not right. I'm not interested in trying to force people to do this stuff to bend to my will. It's Fawn's house. It would be in her name, so I want a lease. Probably take a lease, but it's her place, so it would be up to her. It's for her. It's not. I mean, we share it, but you get the idea. So, and then later on, adding the pool. It's off the top of my head, it's like $7,000 US. Call it 10, maybe complete, really nice for a swimming pool, a small swimming pool in Thailand. Things like that. Actually, you can do a pool cheaper than that. They're 3 to 10 grand for a small pool. So. Maybe not including the parking area. Maybe it doesn't include a big recreational shade structure that ultimately I'll want to throw some weights and some simple equipment outside, so when I don't feel like going to the gym. Things like that. But the basic house, some initial gardens, some decorative walls, all plumbing, electrical, fully habitable, painted, this full big screen porch, all that done. Air conditioning in it, everything. Move my unit, probably add one more. That I think is in that 15 to 20,000 range, as long as nothing major goes wrong, which can in Thailand. It can, but anyways, you get the idea. That's roughly, you can ballpark that as a $500,000 baht. I kind of figured 600,000 at the beginning, and I'm kind of landing back at that number. We'll see. And then, so Thai construction. Basically, you've got a concrete floor. That's probably loud as heck. I'll have to edit that out. A concrete floor. You've got concrete walls, metal frame roof structure. It can be open ceiling, or they'll put ceiling tiles in. A little bit of your money you get back on that foamed metal panel is it's got the treated, dressed underside, so you can just leave it exposed and it's nice. Oh, I would do my own trusses. I would site build my own trusses. Probably Superman ego complex, I'll just admit to that. 2, it would be fun. 3, I've got a plan to make them look really pretty and make it an architectural feature of the home. So again, the home being essentially a concrete box, as most Thai homes here are, it can have a little bit of style here and there and make it interesting. And an interesting space to live in does elevate your spirit, does kind of lift up your life a little bit. Rising tide lifts all boats sort of thing. So. I am interested in doing some things in an interesting way. So that's the basic walkthrough on the concept of the house, and now I will put together the slides and I'll narrate the slides, and you'll kind of see this will all kind of take more shape. Thank you. No, thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.